Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the third All-Star Brawl, presented, as always, by Star Esports. My name is Shy Guy, and I will be your caster for this evening as we enter into another edition of this double elimination tournament dedicated to the Tier 3 Overwatch community. Tonight, we've got an absolutely fantastic matchup for you guys. It's going to be Torbulance taking on Inked in a second round matchup of the upper bracket. And I can't do this all by myself here tonight. Of course, I've got to have someone along the ride for me. And tonight, that's going to be Twess. Welcome to the broadcast, my man. Are you ready for this match tonight?
And I'm ready to rock. We had a great game earlier tonight. Glad to be here with you again, Shy. And it should be another good one, man. Torbulance and Inked, two teams I've never seen before. Can't wait.
Yeah, this is going to be fascinating to me as we continue to progress through the tournament. I'm very excited to see these two teams go head to head here tonight, and we'll be getting into the matches in just a little while. But first, we've got a couple announcements and then a very special pre-match interview. Before we get underway, I do want to give a quick shout out to Legola for the Tier 1 sub. For the Star Esports channel. We appreciate all the support that any of the viewers at home can give us, whether that's a sub like Legola, coming through with a follow, joining us on the Discord. There's a lot of ways to connect with Star Esports right now to get involved and to help out the community, so we appreciate each and every one of those. But now, as we head into this match here tonight, we're going to be joined for a pre-match interview, as I said earlier, by Ronstrosity. Welcome to the broadcast, and why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, so I'm Ronstrosity, head coach for Inked. I'm still also on the Up Gaming roster in South American Contenders, and yeah, I've been coaching for a while.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about your team. You know, how long has this Inked roster been playing together?
Well, I mean, this Inked roster has been changing a lot. You know, we recently lost 6 feet under. Yeah, I don't know. We've been in a bit of a transitional period for a while. But yeah, I don't know. So most of my players have been here for like the month that I've been on the team. Yeah, and we've been like developing a lot of synergy. I don't know. Things have been going well.
So what has the process been like for you, you know, as a coach? You mentioned that you've played in South American Contenders, so you've seen things from both sides of that equation. You know, how do you kind of apply that your experience as a player to your coaching role?
Yeah, so I mean, like it's a different situation that we're in at the moment, right? So in Contenders, what you're looking to do is you're looking for the next win, right? Like you're looking to find that band-aid solution that will get you the next win that you're looking for. At the moment, what I'm looking to do with Inked is kind of a slow progression, right? So we want to make sure that we have those fundamentals in place, and then we want to build on those slowly so that by the time we get to like the next real open division, we're going to be in a position where we can make trials.
All right, I like to see that kind of long-term thinking from the Tier 3 community. So
Getting the goal setting, man.
Yeah, I really like to hear that. And you know, you mentioned that you have had some kind of roster turnover. You know, just in the past couple of days, both Fallen and 6 Feet, as you mentioned, have left the Inked roster for other opportunities. You know, as a coach, you know, how do you kind of manage to kind of incorporate your subs, your stand-ins, or find new players while trying to keep the team together?
So I mean, like finding the new players isn't really on me. We have a fantastic manager in Strafe. Yeah, but I mean, so like what I'm looking to do is basically figure out what we are now missing because we've lost like someone and see what we can do to compensate for that. So one of the things that I've been looking to do is I've got a couple of my members basically covering the comms roles that 6 Feet used to have. And that's what we've been working on, is basically them doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And together I think over the past couple of days, we've effectively replaced his comms roles with existing members.
All right. Well, quite a fascinating kind of inside peek into the operation of the team, and I appreciate that. I do want to ask, since a lot of people are, at least I know Twess has never gotten to see your team play, and I'm sure a lot of people will be seeing them for perhaps the first time or the first couple of times. What can we expect out of the Inked roster? Who are the players that we should be looking out for as we head into?
Well, I mean, if you're looking for the Flash, you're probably looking for our DPS players. That's where you're going to see the flashy plays from, Jai and Kashir. But if you're looking for the fundamentals, you'll definitely see that from our tank line and from Fix.
All right. Well, it's good to have some names in the back of my mind as we head into that I can check in with throughout the series. But before we let you go, I do just want to thank you for giving us a little bit of your time here tonight before the match, and give you an opportunity to shout out anyone kind of behind the scenes, anyone on the team, or really just plug anything at all before
Sure.
we get going tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. We should definitely shout out our Twitter, which is I can't remember because I'm terrible with that kind of thing.
It's okay.
But
I got it pulled up. I got it.
If you've got it, that would be awesome.
It's at Inked OW. No spaces, no underscores. Capital OW. Easy peasy.
Yep. And an extra shout out to Strafology and Ray, our managers.
All right. Always got to keep the people behind the scenes happy, and I'm sure they are doing a fantastic job for Inked. Thank you so much, Ronstrosity, for joining us here tonight, and good luck with your matches as you progress through the tournament.
Yep. Cheers, mate.
All right, Twess. So we are just about ready to get into it here.
Yeah, man. I like the game plans that we're starting to get, man. Even like kind of the tier 3 stuff. I love that people are getting some managers, getting some coaches. Seems like Inked really has a good game plan. Ronstrosity's got like a plan of attack and what he wants to see in his team. So I'm loving the structure that we're seeing more and more just throughout esports in general. But I got some hopes now for Inked, man. He's got a plan. The man with the plan, and he's ready to rock and roll. And I really like that he's a player as well. I think that really adds just a ton of insight. If you're a professional player, I think you're going to be better as a coach than somebody who potentially doesn't play and is just good at coaching. So I think it's also cool that he has some different strategies between going to try and compete in trials or contenders, and kind of the tier 3, kind of getting those basics, getting up and getting your teamwork going together instead of just trying to squeak by into the enrollment period, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I love kind of the long-term thinking that we're seeing from him right there. It's easy to kind of get bogged down in the day-to-day, and if your team is not necessarily winning a lot of matches, it's easy to get down. But if your goals are much longer term, then I think it's easier to kind of push through when maybe things aren't going the best in the here and now. And this is a team that's going to have to struggle a little bit, or to fight a little bit, because we mentioned we've got some players that have left this roster. In particular, they're going to have a sub here on main support. The manager Strafology is actually going to be in the lineup to sub in for 6 feet here tonight, who has left the team, gone on to other opportunities, joining the Elo Hell Open Division roster. So it's going to be very fascinating to see how they incorporate Strafology, how they're able to fit in to the plan of attack that Ronstrosity has laid out.
Yeah, and it's also it's awesome for them to be able to have subs that they can bring in if they lose a player, like 6 feet going to another team, which is pretty awesome. People get traded all the time. They find other groups to play with and other teams, but it's really good that they have a backfill, and like he said, a good management lineup to be able to fill those spots. So. And
their opponents here tonight are going to be Torbulance, who are one of kind of, in my mind, in a lot of ways, like teams with the most continuity that we've got in this tournament. A lot of these players I know have been playing together for a long time, going back almost a year at the time, I believe, for some of these guys. I mean, there is a real kind of camaraderie with a lot of the players on this team, and they've managed to stick together as a squad for a while now. So that is a a great kind of, not motivator, but just ace in the hole there. When you've got so much familiarity with the rest of your team, it can really help elevate you over a team like Inked, which, as he said, they've been together kind of in this format about a month, got some subs in for tonight, so that's something that Torbulance can potentially be looking to capitalize on.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you've got some of that background knowledge of Torbulance. Myself, obviously, just getting started in kind of the Star League. I feel like I recognize the name as a viewer, but I haven't got the opportunity to cast them. So I'm very excited to get in here and see how they're going to do. They did get by in week 1 without really playing a match last week. If you check out the bracket, they did get the DQ victory. And so you're going to see, I mean, they're coming in. Maybe they're not warmed up, not ready for this tournament. Inked obviously has a plan of attack. They went 3-0 last week, so they're feeling good off that victory from last week. So going to have to get into it now. A real match for Torbulance as they get started in week 2 of this brawl.
Yeah, I think they're going to have their work cut out for them in this series here tonight. Inked, even playing with subs, I think they're still a really talented roster. Monstrosity mentioned the DPS line, and I think they're going to be coming up huge for them. They're going to need to be playmakers here this evening as they try to kind of fill in those gaps. And Kashir and Jay are more than capable of that kind of play. Definitely, a powerhouse duo in this tournament. So I'm looking to them to really kind of carry the day. But like you said, don't overlook the rest of the roster. This is still a very talented group, and I'm excited to see what they have in store for us. We'll kick things off on Village here on Nepal as both teams rolling out with kind of the standard looks right now.
Yeah, extremely standard lineups. I love that Jay was on that quick Symmetra, just give him a little bit of boost, and it shows as they are by far the first team to the high ground here. They decided to go for high ground, and they up here first, but the rest of the lineup looking extremely standard here. Just the Doomfist Reaper DPS combo. Air going in hard right now already for Torbulance, trying to get that extra damage in, but it's going to be the first to fall for Torb as they start to go down. The kill feed is solid red as Inked makes it look easy on that first initial cap. Just get a couple pickoffs, and the rest will follow here. Quick cap and moving up to the high ground to start them off.
Yeah, they got to that high ground first, and Torbulance tried to rotate just straight to the point, but Noro put his shield in an awkward position right in the middle of the point, and for Inked, it's easy to just wrap around to the other side. The shield gets nothing done, and the damage is free.
Yeah, next fight coming up right here, though. Air is the first one to get a pick this time. Jay is going to follow right up suit, though. Takes the Moira out of the fight as Tony will fall for Torbulance over here. Still staying back on the point. I like that they reset back here. Air able to get another pick off, so that's 2 now in this fight for Torbulance, making it a 4v5 here. And they are trying to get the recap here as Inked just backs off just a little bit. Now a lot more kills coming out finally as they are able to lock up that point, and they should get the retake here. A little bit of a delay from Kashir, but down they will go. 43%, a lot of percentage on the board, but the retake right there on the second fight, I guess.
Yes, a quick flip coming through for Torbulance there. They kind of just slow play that and give Air all the room that he needs to find those opening picks, to find opportunities for those one-shots with the rocket punch. And, it works out beautifully for them. They don't have to commit any ultimates to get that retake. They even force the Coalescence out of Fix.
Huge.
Yeah, that's massive. That gives Torbulance a way back in here and a way to sustain through these next few fights as they try to defend and keep building up that.
Yeah, it did take them a little bit of time. 43% is quite a bit of percentage because they stuttered a little bit after the first initial take from Inked, but their ultimate economy, I think, is looking really good. Obviously, you said already, they're going to have that Coalescence ahead. Both of the teams have the Meteor Strike, but Lure are going to have that nice defensive Lucio ultimate before Strafology will, it looks like. And then Ruben and Jai, the 2 Reapers, both going to have those Death Blossoms up almost simultaneously, it seems like. So could be a little mad here on this third fight coming in. Torbulance trying to defend very well here to get up to that next percentage match.
Okay, Inked coming into the point now, and Jai gets in on the flank, able to take down Ruben, dropping down on top of them now, but forced away.
Yeah, Air comes in with a nice Meteor Strike to get a little pick off on the Strafology. No more ult pick up for that. The Death Blossom will come out from Jay, and 2 will go down from him. Make it a third as Sirius falls as well. Kashir and Fix getting on the action a little bit right there in a very quick retake. Though they did get up to 40%, but that fight seemed to go pretty quick there in favor of Inked, and back onto the percentage tick up they'll go.
All the while, Lure holds on to that sound barrier. I mean, a lot of times you're seeing the Lucios keep that for the Gravitic Flux, but it could have been a useful resource for his team trying to hang on.
Coalescence coming out from Fix to start this fight off, keep them all up. Immediately, Lure will pop the sound barrier as well, trying to keep him alive. Ruben already got his ult up this time now for Torbulance to go in, maybe with the Death Blossom open up. Air gonna get a nice pick on a Kashir, make it 2 now as Best Bulby goes down. So the door has been open for Torbulance to retake this. Crawl gonna fall as well as he jumps off the edge. I think they just go ahead and concede that fight. They want to get the reset here. A little bit of delay coming out from Fix just to keep a little bit more percentage, but finally Torbulance will take that fight.
Yeah, and Torbulance able to force out the sound barrier as well from Strafology. So a pretty bare cupboard for the side of Inked as they try to push back in here. They're going for this high ground approach, but this time Torbulance getting more aggressive.
Yep, the damage will be coming out now as Best Bulby drops the supercharger. Doesn't matter though, gets picked off immediately. The Meteor Strike Death Blossom combo is just too much as the entire team of Inked will just melt away. Jay gotta pick up a little cheeky solo kill on the Noro there, but the good defense there will give them the official percentage lead, I think, before Inked is able to get back into this fight. One more solid victory like that will take them to this first point, but no ults up for anybody. Jay, going to be the first one probably to have a Death Blossom up serious with that Flux soon.
Absolutely. So some opportunities for individual plays coming in here. The Flux going to open things up. The Coalescence out as well. And Jay finding Vader first takes down Air.
And the big picks have been huge recently so far. Strafology, she's going to pick up a kill on the Noro as well. Ruben trying to even it up a little bit, but not quite going to be enough. Still dancing on this point. Lure trying to get in there and stay on it. They do get to the 99%, but as the retake does come out, a couple cleanups from Jay, they're going to have to get back really fast, Shy, because they've only got about 10% remaining, and they have to get on the point and fight now.
Okay, it looks like it might be Ruben to get in here. He's teleporting around the edge, going to be able to drop down and trigger this overtime as the rest of Torbulance come in from the front. They've gotten the entry, but can they survive?
The ults are too strong as both Meteor Strike and Death Blossom will come out and just completely wipe them up. 99 to 99, that's going to do it. Ink's going to take round number 1 here on Nepal. Just great ult economy for those last couple fights. They were up ahead and just unfortunately no contest for Torbulance to get in there.
And Torbulance a little unlucky on the ult economy there. Both of their support ultimates were within 20% of being online going into that last fight. If they have those tools in their back pocket, maybe they can make something happen there. But in the end, they're just walking right into the mouth of the lion. The jaws clamp shut, and Inked come away with the first win here on Nepal. But that was close. That was
very back and forth.
Incredibly competitive here so far. And now Inked gonna change things up, going over to the Bastion May DPS duo here on Sanctum. And I gotta say, this is somewhere that the long sightlines can make this Bastion incredibly hard to deal with.
Yeah, also rocking the Baptiste and Ana here as well. So they're going, and they got Kashir on the May, just trying to wall him off inside this room. Now, unfortunately, it looks like Torbulance going to be pinned in this room. It's kind of where they wanted to set up. Maybe they weren't prepared for the Bastion, as they're going to be shooting fish in a barrel coming out of here. A good block from Sirius as they try to get the shield. And they're going to aggressively push up here. They're not going to let that Bastion sit on the back line at all, and they go up fighting for this high ground.
Oh, they know that they can't just let Jay free fire into them, but now he is unopposed on the high ground. They can't get in position to deal with him. The rotation on point from Inked, and now that they're getting the cleanup, the bio nade is forcing Torbulance into an awkward spot, and I'm not sure how long they can last. They're doing an admirable job right now, but with Jay still up on the high ground, how do you take him down?
Yeah, they haven't got the point, though. They're sitting on this high ground, and they're cleaning up right now, but they're already at 25%. Now they're going to get the retake. So a one fight in the end for Inked, but 30% almost right there just because they got the initial cap, and they did hold on to the high ground. I think Torbulance did a really good job at getting up there and disrupting them.
No, they had a good first effort, and it does net them, as you said, 30% here at the start of this round, so not a bad situation to be in. But now Jay is in the catbird seat. He's ready to go.
Yeah, gets a big pick off onto Air, and Nora will go down as well. He's just lighting up the kill feed all by himself. Gets the triple. And you talked about it. They won in the fight, had that high ground, just shredded through him right there. Could not stand up to the power of Bastion as Ink gets a full team kill on the Torbulance.
And now things get a little bit awkward here for Torbulance. There's no easy answers for the Bastion. They're going to try air on the Mei to perhaps throw up some instructions, get those walls in the way, give them an avenue to get him out of position. They do it, but can they capitalize?
Yeah, and I was just about to say, too, the ult economy right now is totally in Ink's favor as they pull up the nano boost and the flux, and that's just going to lay it easy. A little pick off there from Lure, gets a little bit of environmental kill on Lucio, or with Lucio, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Fix getting on the board as well, as that support Ana just slaying out, and the ult economy continues to be in Ink's favor here as they're just farming those HP bars right now. They got the Supercharger and the Blizzard, and Bastion has still not even touched his Q.
Oh, yeah, I mean, and he barely needs to in this position. The wall this time just going to get Torbulance up in his face, but air once again goes down early, and it's just a massacre.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so fast. I mean, props to the teams trying to go in at the same time. Torbulance really trying to get it to work out here, but the kill feed is just flowing in red right now as they can't get anything going together. They got maybe one more opportunity if they come around from the side, but the Mei wall going to slow them down. They're going to have to jump up over the edge. He gets melted immediately. Lure trying to skate out and away, but it didn't matter as he just got absolutely beamed down by the Bastion. Ruben trying to get out and just dance a little bit with Bulby, but it's not going to matter. Noro trying to stay alive against the Bastion as well. Gets come up from behind by his doppelganger right there, and I heard the Bastion go off. He's just going to start laying in damage. This should be a nice, clean victory for Ink on game number 1.
Yeah, and as close as that first round was here on Nepal, this one was just a bloodbath for Ink as they dominate there with Jay on the Bastion. He's going to get the play of the game as the Reaper, but my God, it just felt like Torbulance, anytime they got anywhere close, they just disappeared in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, the first round, as we see here, was much closer at that village map. I think Torbulance had an opportunity. I think the definitive fight on the first one was when they both went in with Meteor Strike and the Death Blossom. They got a huge clear out on the first point, but then coming into that very last fight on Village, they didn't have any ultimates ready, and Inked was able to just take it over. Just by a nudge, they took that fight. But that time, the setup was too strong. The tank strat's too strong. Had that great sight lines like you talked about at the beginning of round 2 right there, and the answer was definitely not found in time for Torbulance to take that one back. So game 1 going handedly, at least in that regard, in Ink's favor.
And, you know, right now, the way this tournament is playing out, it's starting to feel like the Bastion is almost, I don't want to say a necessity, but I feel like we're seeing all of the best teams at least have it in their back pocket, be able to break it out from time to time, because so many teams are just unprepared for it or incapable of dealing with it, because there's so many ways to keep that Bastion alive between the double shields, the immortality field. You can throw the biotic grenade if you're running the Ana alongside it. It's so hard to deal with, and if you cannot come up with that answer, it really is impossible to kind of make a comeback. And Torbulance found themselves behind and trying desperately to turn that one around, just couldn't do it. We'll see if they can make some changes as we head into map 2 to bring this one back. But I think the best change for them might just be avoid anywhere that Bastion can be played at all.
That can be tough though, man. I mean, I feel like with just how strong it's been, I feel like you can set up your bunker anywhere you need to with those mobile shields right now. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think you worded it perfectly. I don't know if it's a necessity to have Bastion, but it's definitely an extremely useful tool, and you want to have all the tools available in your toolkit to be able to take these. You talked about it as well, even at the highest levels, even like in OWL. It was hard for teams to find an answer to a well-organized Bastion-centered comp. And I don't know what it is. It's just rough to fight against. If they can get in there and get set up, It's just tough. I think Torbulance had a really good opportunity at the beginning of round 2 there, where they pushed really aggressively all at once. They got up there and they got them a little bit scattered. And in the end, they did lose that fight while taking the point. But it gave them an opportunity. I mean, the door was there. They at least got them out of their bunker somewhat so they could get broken up. But once they settled in, man, they just buried their stakes in the ground and they were not moving.
Yeah, I really feel like playing against the Bastion, the first fight is a lot of times going to be your best opportunity, unless you are running a really ult heavy comp, like you're running something like a Sombra as a counter to it to come in with the EMP and perhaps some other ultimates, But if you let that Bastion comp get rolling, it's almost impossible to dislodge. Once you get those cooldowns coming online, it seems like every fight you're kind of alternating. I'm pushing into a Bastion firing through the amplification matrix, or I'm pushing into a nano boosted Bastion, or a Bastion with the supercharger backing him up, and it's nearly
just a feedback loop. It just continues. It snowballs completely out of control, I think. So it's rough, man. It's rough. I don't know. It's hard. I think, yeah, man, Sombra would be such a good counter pick. And it seems like it's a good bunker buster, but then you have to think in a capture point map like that, or a King of the Hill map like that, how long does it take to earn a Sombra ult when you're just getting melted down? If you come up behind and you try to, take a couple pot shots with Sombra, the Bastion just flips and they just get you. Or anybody else on the team can just call you out and take you down as a squishy Sombra if you're trying to get the ult only. So how long do you really have in a percentage-based map like that to build up that EMP? And even if you do build up the EMP, normally we see the fights go back and forth and back and forth. So you're going to have to retake the point, win against the Bastion, and then have a strong enough defense that you can hold on. It's tough, man. It's a tough strategy. So I think, Shy, we may see some more Bastion as well, as it looks like we're moving on to King's Row here. Going to get a little bit of a hybrid map going on. So maybe some Pirate afterwards. We'll see. Maybe a little defensive Bastion.
You definitely could see it here. I think it's a little bit more workable on the offense, actually, here on King's Row. Though, I mean, definitely not bad on point A defense. But it's not exactly, it's not a Bastion map at the very least. So I don't mind. I like the pick coming out from Torbulance here on this map. It's not one, like, you're not headed into Temple of Anubis, I would say. Is like,
that's true.
That's the one that I think you've got to avoid at all costs. If you want to not see the Bastion on the other side. But we are going to have Turbulence coming out on the attack here to kick things off. We'll see what they can get going here, because really their momentum was not bad on that first point of Nepal, but really got shut down there on Sanctum. So the pressure is kind of back on them to try to find something here on Pro.
Yep. And it's I'm not sure. I don't think people at home get to see the map picks and bans too. But Inked went ahead and just banned out Hanamura. So maybe not an unexpected ban. Most players just don't like playing that. But I think that's a potential Bastion setup with that high ground overlooking the second point on Hanamura, and Inked just feeling like maybe they don't need to rely on the Bastion. We're talking about it because it was just so strong there. But they've got other tools in their toolkit, man, and they can play whatever. So we'll see how they do here on this hybrid one. Also, just as an update, we did flip colors here. So Torbulence this time going to be on the red and Inked going to be on blue, as Inked is going to be defending here first.
All right, and Torbulence going to try to go a little bit off the script here, putting air on the Pharah is going to give an opportunity, and Jay going deep in the back gets hit by I believe a sleep, and then the accretion gets taken down immediately.
Yeah, and Ruben also getting low as well, so Ruben will go down on the offensive there. So the big res, though, from Lure, it's not too much of a run back, but now the defense is just starting to lay in here as Kashir and Kral both take up a couple. Kral able to snipe Farah out right there with the left click and just takes him out. So should be a little reset here on the offensive push. Is a good first hold from defense here. Not too many run backs. Jai getting taken out, but that was about it.
And they managed to stabilize quite well there. Torbulence not able to punish off of that first pick. Now going in aggressively, air back on the Doomfist.
Vix already with the Coalescence up too. Going to keep that whole team alive, sustained, and just wiping the floor with them here. Full team wipe.
Yeah, they know they've got the advantage there with that coalescence coming along so early. There's no way that Tony's going to be up to a nano boost just yet. So they get aggressive off the back of it. They just basically power right through them and are able to once again defend here on King's Row. A minute and a half gone for Torbulance. But now is where they start to come online. But air.
Ooh. That's unfortunate to get picked off right there at the beginning like that. Just taken out by the Moira ball. Follow up right here, just a 6v5, not able to get back in time. Lure and Tony just kind of sitting behind that bus, trying to land in as much healing as they can, but it's not going to matter. And now we see Inked able to push way up here as they get around the bus. I'm curious. I like that they push out, but they do continue to come back and reset on this point. We've seen some teams get aggressive and start pushing that choke point over and over again, but you see Jay is just sitting back here in this room, almost wasn't even part of that fight. He's just begging for somebody to try to sneak through this doorway.
Well, they know that this entrance is kind of where the offense is at their most vulnerable. Sheer going to come in with the Meteor Strike, takes down Tony, and a good start once again for Inked.
Yeah, another follow-up right there from Best Bolby. A little bit of help out. Cashier going to get a nice little punch into the wall for Ruben. We're going to get another quick pause, but this looks like, unfortunately, one fight for Inked. Unfortunate for Torbulance, as they're just not able to put together an offense at the moment.
And the Lure dropping out of the game there is not going to do them any favors. He loses all of his ult charge. Been building up to that for pretty much the entire map here on King's Row and gone in an instant. So that's kind of rough here, especially when you look at where we are in this map. We're a minute 25 remaining for Torbulance. I don't know that he's really going to have another opportunity to get back up to that. And on the other side, Inked just fully loaded with ultimates. The Gravitic Flux, big one to consider when you don't have that sound barrier ready to go. This is looking pretty dicey for Torbulance. I think we might be headed in the direction of a full hold.
Yeah, it's looking that way right now. I mean, it's just been, even in the fights where they've gotten a couple picks, I think they've only had 2 deaths right now on the side of Inked, I believe. Maybe 3. I know Jay died once. I don't. Maybe not. Maybe just the one. That might be the only one. So they've been really struggling to get together here. The DC is just an unfortunate reality of esports in general. I think some people get really frustrated by DCs and lag and PC performance issues and things, but I always equivalent it to, like, in sports, in traditional sports, you get injured, players get hurt, and that can hurt your roster. Sometimes in esports, you've got computer issues. Generally, you don't get injured in esports. You could be sick, you could be off your game. Generally, you're not throwing your wrist out mid-game to where you can't slide your mouse to aim anymore, but sometimes the hardware issues will get to you.
Yeah, sometimes those ISP issues are,
the real enemy.
It's true. And right now that seems to be the case for Luro. Hopefully we'll be able to get him back in here for the rest of the series and carry on. But for right now, Torbulance continuously kind of on the back foot, and they haven't, to this point on King's Row, really even been able to get any kind of a clean entry. Just every single time they try to push through the choke, they are met with so much resistance from Inked, from those DPS in particular of Jay and Cashier, that they're having a really hard time, and they blew kind of the one opportunity they had with that nice opening pick onto Jay in the first fight. And since then, it has really been all Inked all the time. They're really kind of taking over the series.
Yeah, it's been rough. They've been doing a good job on defense, though. I mean, to their benefit, they've had really good positioning. They're kind of letting them bait in around that choke point. They're not like fighting directly in the choke point. They're kind of baiting them towards the statue, maybe letting them feel like they're a little bit safe. And then Jay just pops out, starts doing damage. Kasheer jumps over the statue around from behind, and just starts laying it down. So not much. So I think this is a good time, though, while we have a short pause here and we're trying to figure stuff out, though. If you guys are enjoying the broadcast, make sure you guys do check out the channel. If you haven't already, make sure you do drop a follow so you know when we're going to live. Check out the Twitter and check out the Discord as well. Get part of the community, guys. Start playing with people. Make up your own group. Get in some next tournaments in the future. Find some great teams to scrim against. and keep all of the up-to-date information. I'd say the most up-to-date information definitely in the Discord, but hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast when we're not stuck in a pause. It's not always the most enjoyment of times when you don't get to see the gameplay, but again, another reality of esports.
Yeah, that's something we got to deal with here. But one other reminder for everyone enjoying the broadcast at home right now, right below the stream, you can find the MVP poll where you can decide who is impressing you a lot right now. There's a lot of good candidates so far. Jay is the one to stand out. I mean, the light lit up the kill feed there on Nepal, doing his continuing his work here on King's Row, and Inked just looking incredibly strong at the moment. They are they're rolling.
Yeah, and it may not even be, at least in this matchup, early enough to really have too many awesome shoutouts other than just what you see on the kill feed lit up. I know Fix was hitting a couple good sleeps, and Crawley had double teamed up a little bit on the Sigma to get a couple kills. But yeah, I mean, they're just playing well, man. I don't know what else you can really say about it. They're just kind of do it what they need to do, man. And let me tell you something. Is it too early, Shy? Is it too early to see a Inked versus Scion in the future if we get there? Because that's going to be next week. If Inked is able to keep this kind of pressure up and hold this, that could be an impressive game.
I mean, it looks so far that we are headed in that direction. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. We've still got this map to play out. At least one more after that. We're in a pause.
I hope Torbulance starts watching the broadcast and gets really mad at us and just brings out the heat, man. Just show us up. Show the casters. They don't know what the deuce they're talking about.
Please, I want that. I want it.
Fight me, Torbulance. Fight me.
Just a quick update for everybody watching at home. It does look like we are going to finally be able to get a sub in here for Torbulance. Lure, unfortunately, having his PC crash.
Whole PC gone.
Dead.
That's a no good feel, because then you got the extra worries about, like, oh no, it's not even just like, guys, I was in a match. It's what's happening to my PC, and that just adds a whole nother level of I don't know, emergency feelings that you don't want to deal with.
Stress.
Thank you. Yes, stress. Is that the word I was looking for?
Seems like it.
I was dancing around it. It's fine.
It's okay. But we are going to be having Isol come in here for Torbulance to pick up Lure's main support duties, and should be getting underway in just a few seconds. Right now, Torbulance kind of on the retreat, might be able to escape with the rest of their team's lives as they back off. But find themselves in an awkward position here as they try to bring this one back.
Yeah. Ooh, a little bit of a late coalescence from Fix. They are going to push out on it. I thought maybe we were just going to see Ink just kind of back off as we had that little awkward pause, substitute, reset. But no, the coalescence, they push in. There's no fairness in Love and War.
Yeah, they get a couple more kills to stagger out off the end of that. Now going to back off, wait for Strafology to return, and they find themselves in the driver's seat at this point. The flux is out from both sides.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the last fights. Probably going to be the major one, as ult's coming out from everybody right now. Meteor Strike coming out, Supercharger coming out. Jay with the Death Blossom picks up a couple kills. Kashir there as well off the Supercharger. Going to be able to get him to hold out. And 3 ults still remaining for the side of Torbulance on offense. But the full ult gambit was used there to hold out that defense. And only one more opportunity for Torbulance to push in. They got to pop everything right now.
They do have that Supercharger Death Blossom combo. That should be the ticket for them. Here comes Ruben ready to unleash it. Might not even need it.
Yeah, the Coalescence going to triple for Tony, coming out, showing the DPS off that ultimate right there with on top of the Supercharger. They're going to have to make sure they clean it up. It looks like they are going to be able to capture this. Jay trying to delay just a little bit. And a sneaky little Kashir just hanging around the corner right there. But they are going to cap it just in the nick of time. Looks like the substitution has worked out for them here, as Azul is going to hold on to that payload, and they're going to start pushing down the alleyway.
Yeah, I guess Lure was the problem after all.
Man, right after he takes the PC crash, too. You got to throw him under the bus like that, Shy.
Adding some insult to injury there, but finally, Torbulance going to be able to get this payload underway as they move through. They push forward far enough that they're going to get through the choke point, this archway, without an effort. But now here comes Ink.
Yep, the Coalescence from Fix coming out in a great lineup against all their players, keeping everybody healed up. Kashir going to get a nice pick-off right there, as well as Jay taking out the DPS Doomfist on the side of Torbulance right there. Going to make them back all the way up, and look how aggressively this defense is pushed out. They're not playing around at all. They're on the far side of the payload, almost back to the first capture point. They said, we held this capture point for almost the whole time. We're coming out here, and now finally decide to trail back just a little bit as the respawns are coming in.
They want to take advantage of the choke. Kashir tries to go for the punch, can't quite land it, but the Meteor Strike is there to pick up air.
Yep, 2 kills coming out right there on the side of defense. More coming out as Death Blossom will go out, but nothing getting picked up right there. So the Death Blossom on Ruben getting immediately smacked down. Maybe just a little bit of a last-ditch effort during that fight, as he will lose all of his ult charge. Jay still sitting on his, as well as that supercharger. As you mentioned, that combo earlier could be huge, as the offense trying to regroup a little bit on the high ground to push in.
That's a good approach. It will let them kind of bypass the choke point a little bit as they try to find an opportunity to drop in from the high ground, chase Jay away, and now they're ready to take the fight.
Yep, dropping in. The Flux coming out from Crawley on the side of defense here. A little bit of helpful Lucio ult from Asul, trying to get that sub-extra support in right there. We will take a fall as Ruben was going down right there. Jay, sitting in the background, was on top of the payload, was laying in tons of damage, and does get out safe right there. Kashir doesn't even need the meteor strike this time. Just going to pick up another hammer smack, or fist smack, against the wall. Cry going in there on the Sigma, and I love this. Every time, Shy, they start taking this push, they push all the way out here, and they chase them back to the spawn. They say, you're not getting out of here safely. Respawn with your team.
I mean, and that's going to make this recontest so difficult for Torbulance. They're having to commit everything to try to get in here, but I don't think they're going to be able to touch it. It's just the Moira with the Coalescence keeping it going. All her teammates are dead, and Torbulance, that's as far as you're going to get.
Yep, a little bit of delay, but the payload didn't seem to budge after that. They had a little bit of life back, capping on just the overtime, but didn't get very far down that alleyway at all. Kind of an awkward spot to get stuck right there. And I think the ball is in Ink's court here, coming out on offense. See what they can do on defense for Torb.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is going to take a Herculean effort from Torbulance. Realistically, they probably need to get the hold on point A outright. They cannot really afford to let this get into the payload section of the map. They didn't get enough distance out of that push, and now they find themselves on the verge of going down 2-0, and they would like to try their best to avoid it, but my God, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I think you're kind of right, man. I think it's just an all or nothing. Whatever strategies you're cooking up, whatever you feel like you're confident with, you have to plan on holding this checkpoint A just full tilt, because that is not far. I mean, that is around half a choke point, one corner on the payload. You just got to put all your nuts in one basket here and try to hold out for the entire run here. Because I think if that payload gets opened up, it's not going to take much to go around that corner.
And it looks like they are taking your advice here. Is going to be the Bastion coming out for Ruben here. You know, the classic kind of all in on the first point strategy here. The cheese comp, the defensive bunker setup here is going to put some pressure onto Ink and to force them to kind of change things up a little bit. You can't approach this the same way you would the mirror match that we saw in the last round. They've got to have a plan of attack, and how about that?
Oh! The damage boosted Widowmaker one-shotting Orisa out of here. There goes down one of your shields, and that is the opener that you needed on offense. The bunker strat not going to be as tough here with only one shield in the way. Oh my goodness, what an opening play snipe. They had the immortality field out, and they had the Ash, and they just annihilated that Orisa.
That was disgusting. That was inventive. That was absolutely brilliant from Ink. They come out with the surprise sniper strat here on King's Row, and at that point there's virtually no resistance from Torbulance. They fall one by one to the wayside, and now Ink just a little ways to go, and map 2 will be theirs.
Yeah, this seems just almost unwinnable, unfortunately, for Turbulence at this point. Even if they just start outclassing Inked in every way, all Inked has to do here is save ultimates, right? And look how good they're doing. They're already pushing all the way out. They're not even going to give chance for Turbulence to get up here and contest the payload. They're just going to leave the one lonely little Lucio all the way back here, and she's going to carry it home as the rest of them just sit up here and delay.
They don't even need to delay. They're just winning the fight. They've already taken down Isol. Noro gonna fall as well. No one gonna get anywhere close to the point. And that is it. Inked taking King's Row convincingly here. They go up 2-0. We're on the verge of another sweep for them. And my God, that was fun. I gotta say, I haven't been surprised like that in quite a while, but Inked come to play here tonight.
The Overwatch AI isn't intricately programmed enough to pick that up, but that should be play of the game. It was just one click, man. That's all it took. But they knew exactly what they needed to do. Like they were like, all right, guys, we just need to get a pick and then push into this. And it was literally Ashe, Widow, Baptiste, and Mercy. And they boosted the Widow. Ashe just softened up the Orisa just enough, and the Immortality was fielded in case they had the counter Widow to get the pick off. And that was it, man. Orisa down. You're not going to be able to defend anymore. You don't have your extra healthy shield around your Bastion. And that was it. And I mean, shout outs to Turbulence right there. They didn't pre-set up either. I mean, Inked was patient with that. Turbulence was down back behind the steps. They weren't super hard peeking. And as soon as there was even a glimmer of red on their Widowmaker, it was just over.
I mean, that is not an opening pickoff you expect. Sure, teams will break out the Widowmaker every now and then here on King's Row. They'll look for a squishy to take out off the opening of the doors. But when your Orisa just disappears like that, it sends your team into a bit of a panic. You don't have your main tank. You don't have your primary shield anymore. And everything kind of just feels like it's gone to hell in a handbasket at that point. So they can't hang on there on King's Row. Unfortunate stuff there for Torbulance. They kind of get boomed by that opening shot, and well played by Ink to make sure that they get what they needed out of King's Row.
Yeah, for sure. They played it very well. I mean, they had a pretty good advantage. They had a very, very strong defense and a very, very strong offense. I mean, they could have had a weak defense, and I think they would have taken that one home. That was just very, very impressive. So coming in the map select phase, it's going to be Ink's turn to ban out another map, as they did win the last one. And Turbulence going to have another opportunity to stay in this, as we're going to be going to match game up coming up soon. And taking out Paris. They don't want to deal with that one, I guess.
Yet another assault map going to be gone here. And unsurprising that's not anything out of the ordinary here. But we got debated. Ink got debated. Paris isn't in the map pool.
Oh, man, I should have the rule book up on top. Should have it up on top.
That's fair. Normally I know this. I think our assault maps, I think, are Volskaya, Anubis, and Hanamura. So
yeah, they do take out Anubis, though. So you said it. So they're not gonna deal with Anubis.
Okay, they don't want to deal with assault as a game mode in general. So understandable.
Before Turbulence picks Volskaya.
I mean, it's a possibility here for sure. Hard to say exactly where Torbulance is going to take us. We'll find out in just a few moments, as they are now kind of scrambling to deal with their own substitutes here. They've brought in Isol to replace Lore, but unlike Inked, they are having to have one of their players come in on an off roll for them, which is never the situation you want to find yourself in. It's not the best case, especially with your main support leaving. A lot of times that's your shot caller, that's someone doing ultimate tracking, and it can really throw the comms off. And so now they've got an uphill battle, to say the least.
Yeah. We are going to be going to another King of the Hill map, another in the capture, though, because we're going to be going to Lijiang Tower. Starboard's going to pick it up. I think that's a good pick. I think they had a lot more of a fighting chance on Nepal than we just saw on King's Row right there. I think the attack defense did not seem to work out in their favor. So I think this is a solid pick, and they have a little bit more of a scrambly back and forth, multiple opportunities to fight. But I say that, and then I remember Nepal 2, where Bastion just sat, and they couldn't really break up the bunker. So
yeah, thankfully though, Lijiang Tower not gonna have a lot of opportunities to roll out with the Bastion.
True.
You could force it if it's something like your team really wants to play around. But Inks doesn't seem like they're a team that needs to do that or wants to do that. They are perfectly content to run that mirror matchup. They are confident in their play no matter what the compositions are. So unless Torbulance has some kind of back pocket strategy for this map, you're still going into this thinking Inked the favorites to close out this series, to finish off the sweep, and to progress into that upper bracket matchup against Scion that is awaiting the winner of this game.
Yeah, is it bad? Like, Torbulance, I love you guys. Don't be mad at the casters, but like, I'm already anticipating next Friday when we kick off Inked versus Scion. Torbulance, prove me wrong. Yell at me. Get mad, and then win this in a reverse sweep. I want to see it happen. Come and get me. But right now, it just seems like Inked is just playing out of their minds compared to Torbulance at the moment. And again, it's rough in the tier 3 community. I think a lot of times it seems like the pairings just don't seem as even as they could be. But when you get at the first couple rounds, stages of a bracket like this, that's to be expected. And I think it's just a bigger gap than it seems. Because I don't think Turbulence has been playing bad per se, but Inked has just been doing so good at communicating and just pushing through just with no issues.
Yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things where even small differences, if they are consistent differences and they are consistent advantages for Inked, are going to result in wins more often than not. You've
right.
got to get to a level where you have got really evenly matched teams for one to not kind of roll over the other at a lot of cases. I mean, you see this at every level of competition. Tier 3, it might be a bit more pronounced because, let's face it, this is kind of the wild west. We've got teams of all different levels here, and
would you call it the wild twist?
There we go.
Okay, all right.
Especially when you've got a team like Torbulance, and I'm going to be honest, they made it through. They got through the first round off the back of a disqualification. So they haven't yet really had to prove themselves in this tournament so far. We don't know exactly what they're capable of. This is the first time I've seen them play on this meta, and they've got some good things going on, but it just hasn't all come together. As now it does look like they have managed to get a new sub in here for the final map. Getting away from their emergency sub in the last map. Juicy Kiss is going to be coming in here, play the main support. Esol sticking around here as we go into Lijiang Tower. That tells me the Pharah is on the way. That is a specialty of his. So that's an opportunity here for Turbulence to throw a wrench into this series.
Right, and this is it, man. I mean, having those subs and those backups, now you have a sub, Asul on a more comfortable hero. Juicy Kiss is going to be a more comfortable support, and see what they can do it here. Looking good right now. Tony going to open up, taking Kashir out of this fight, but Asul will go down, was sitting there floating up in the air, and Crawley just not having it at all. A little help from Lucio. Strafology, she's also going to take out one with just a melee right there. A little bit of a res coming out from Juicy Kisses to make it a little bit more even. We got Ink set up on the point right now behind all these shields, trying to get pushed in. Good pick off from Kashir and Jay right there, as two will go down. Their main tank on the side of Turbulence going to fall, and the rest of the line will start to crumble behind it. It does look like the first cap going in Ink's favor.
Yeah, it was a pretty back and forth fight there to kick things off, but Inked are able to get that position on the point, which means Turbulence has to try to push into them, and that's not where you want to be when you're down members, when you're not at full strength. And Inked once again able to come out on top. They get the first cap. Dueling Coalescences to start off this fight.
Oh, Isul tries to pull out the barrage, but it didn't matter. Crawley was there with the accretion, hits him with the rock throw like it was nothing. I was just about to comment. I didn't even get the caster's curse out. I was just about to say how fast the Pharah got the barrage up, but immediately tries to pop it and is just shut down. I think that Crawley is just making, Isul his target. He took him out in the first fight as a Sigma, and then just immediately stops the barrage on the point. So Crawley on Sigma just popping off against this Pharah.
I mean, when you know that the barrage might be online, it's got to be your priority as a Sigma. You are the only player on your team who really has a good answer. You've got the rock, you've got the grass, so you can shut down that barrage, and they do it well.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of a flank here. The Meteor Strike did go off, and Azul and Juicy Kisses in the background. We're trying to do a little bit of a flank. They took just a little bit too long, however, as the team just gets separated, as the rest of the team from Torbulance will fall over at the edge. And then 80% already here. How are we here already, Shy, for Inked? And it's one more opportunity for Torbulance to push in and take this.
But look at everything that's going to be available for Inked.
Rough.
They're gonna have 5 ultimates for this next fight. How is Torbulance going to be able to find an answer here? They've got to come through clutch, but this is going to be hard.
It's gonna have to be through Supercharger, Death Blossom, and there's both of them right there. It's not gonna matter though, because Jay is gonna return the favor. Oh, I thought that was, they both popped off, but it was just Jay with the Death Blossom. Supercharger in line for the side of the defense, 100% to 0, and Ink takes it.
And that is that's about as smooth as a win as you can get in Overwatch right there. Inked in firm control from start to finish there on Night Market, and now it's the last chance here for Torbulance. It's win or you're down to the lower bracket, and you know I don't like their chances here, but once again we'll be headed into another opportunity here. The Pharah not gonna be the best pick for Control Center, so Easel gonna have to go back over to the Doomfist.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Azul was trying to do pretty good on the Pharah there, or did pretty good at the beginning, but I mean, Crawley just had his number the whole game. I mean, just all over him. So, I mean, it's a good time to bring up, if you guys have a favorite player you like seeing, MVP poll underneath the stream right now. Go vote for it. At least in that last match, my pick was Crawley. He was crushing it on Sigma, doing such a good job.
Ooh, Kashir already going in deep, landing those slams, the uppercuts, getting all of that damage in already halfway to his first ult.
Yeah, we're not even through this first fight yet. 75% ult, no big deal. Coming out here, gonna have that Meteor Strike up before the first fight's even over, maybe. Crawley getting a great pick off, just all over Azul, man. Just, it's not gonna let him play Overwatch tonight. He's gonna continue to take him out of there. Sigma's on a mission, and that mission is kill all DPS.
And Tony even commits the Coalescence towards the tail end of that fight. That's going to be an ultimate you wish you had back, as now Torbulance really with no resources to try to push in here. Juicy Kisses will get up to a sound barrier pretty shortly, but they are pushing into a loaded Ink.
Yeah, huge choke point right here. They pushed up aggressively. Fix just gets a full Coalescence. Team's not even going to falter, as the healing is just too dang strong. Just tears through them, and now they're just going to continue to push out here and try to get picks as well, pushing them all the way back to the spawn door. So just, I mean, good cap, good setup from Ink, just not going to give even an inch to Torbulance.
They are overwhelming right now at this point, and Torbulance running out of chances here on Lijiang Tower. They're going to take a long rotation up through the high ground to make sure they get the entry that they want, but still, Ink's going to be there to greet them when they step out.
Yeah, great rotation, just a simple little move back, stay grouped up. Now the Coalescence coming out from Tony as he's earned it once again. The Crawley going to have the Flux and picks off Azul, though, so there goes a main damage as Doomfist will go down. They're going to try to push into a 5v6 here. Going to be rough. Ruben able to pick up a good pickoff onto Orisa, so main tank will go down, but Jay going to be right there with the Death Blossom. A little bit of help from Fix, going to take out 2. Ruben going to try to blossom as well, but it didn't matter. The shields were just up too strong for the side of the defense, and Ink going to hold out one more chance here for Torbulance. This is match fight.
Absolutely, and they lose that one. Able to get a nice pick onto Kashir before this next fight starts. I'm not sure how well they'll be able to capitalize on this. They're pushing in aggressively. They want to take the fight now while they don't have to worry about that Doomfist.
Yeah, it was a great pick, but they were kind of waiting for their own respawns right there as well, so they had to stutter just a little bit. Nothing else to get packed back into it right now. The Supercharger is coming down from Best Bulby. Crawley once again taking the DPS out. A little help from Jai, so both the DPS are down for Torbulance. Kill feed turning all blue here as Ink is just going to clear this up. Potentially another 100% to 0. Not even able to get back on the point, and they are going to take it handedly. Ink with a clean sweep, 3-0 in this winner's bracket match.
Yeah, and they only kind of seem to get stronger and stronger as the series went on. Lijiang Tower, their most dominant map of the night here, And that's saying something when, given what we saw on Kings Row in Nepal earlier on. So Inked, they come away with this with a stellar victory here tonight, a truly dominant performance, and they are quickly establishing themselves as a team to keep your eye on. I mean, they haven't been together super long. They told us earlier they've got these long-term plans, but I gotta say, this team is good here and now.
Yeah, they were on top of it, and we hinted it a little bit just because Inked looks so strong coming out, but Shy, I am already excited for next week, man. I can't even explain it, man. Scion and Inked, these teams are looking so good, and I'm curious if one of them is still going to look extremely good as they play each other. So, oh man, is it bad that I'm already hyped 7 days ahead of time? If you're watching right now, you better prep yourself, put it on the calendar, because we're going to have a heck of a match next week.
Yeah, that is going to be huge, and it's big not only for the matchup that we've got, but the winner of that series going to buy themselves a place in the upper bracket final. So you are really getting down to the nitty gritty at this point, and both of those teams have put on quite a show so far in this tournament. To see them go head to head is gonna be a treat. And you know what else is a treat? We're going to be joined now for a little bit of a post-match interview. We've got a member of the victorious Inked coming to join us here tonight. It's Jay. Welcome to the broadcast, my man, and congrats on the victory.
Hi, thank you. It's good to be here. Appreciate y'all.
Well, that was a pretty dominant series, for you guys. What is it like to be in a series like that as a player, to kind of just be on that much of a roll?
Momentum's definitely a big thing, especially in tournament for us. We were mainly going into this focusing on a specific set of things, like Ron said, because of Six leaving currently. We've had to make some of the comms changes and stuff like that. So we're kind of trying to focus a lot more on that, especially in a tournament setting. So we just trying to, we kind of try to stay focused on that sort of aspect and just kind of play our game.
Have you guys had very many opportunities to scrim since you guys have had some roster changes, like we were talking to Ron about earlier, or was you guys just kind of getting your feet reset again with this new group?
Six just recently left. Strafe is our manager. She was in today. She did great, by the way. Big shout out to her. And so it's only been actually like a couple days.
Okay, yeah.
We've only had like 1 or 2 scrims, and just one with her in actually. And so we haven't had much experience. We're still trialing players right now, but yeah, we just kind of tried to focus on like the other individual comps and stuff like that.
Right. Just as a quick follow-up to that, I mean, I know sometimes in a series like that, it's tough to really get a feel for it. But did you guys feel like you're doing pretty well for having that quick swap up? I mean, you guys feel like the new subs are fitting in all right? No too big of issues or anything at all?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're still our dominant selves. We still have a godly roster along with that we can definitely like outmatch people, definitely in mechanical skill and on a team-based level in comms. So just losing a player is just kind of like a minor hiccup. We still definitely show dominance in our play.
I mean, Ron mentioned before the series started tonight that the comm structure, and you talked about it a little bit, is changing right now to kind of make up for the changes. What does that look like for you in particular? Is it being more vocal, or do you have specific assignments that are yours to kind of call out? How does that change things for you?
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to leak too much, but I can for sure like tell you like my role in it. I don't think it matters that much. Where it's like pathing and stuff like that. Since I'm kind of the Reaper in a lot of this scouting and kind of my flank plays, I'm a very flanky Reaper, as you probably saw. Just trying to go for black backline plays and stuff like that. I kind of set up where we want to engage while other people set up what ults we want to use, stuff like that. And so knowing where to position and where we want to fight and what ults to use, I'm kind of the person to determine where to position on what timing that takes and where I come in at. So it's definitely taken some getting used to though, because I haven't had that role yet. So it's been kind of like a couple days with it. That's all.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it really showed, at least it stood out to me. I think I commented on it during the cast where, especially when you guys were defending on King's Row, I mean, you were just sitting in that doorway so patient, like just waiting for the fight to start every time, man. It just came out swinging. So it definitely shows, I feel like, that you're playing that kind of patient, flanky Reaper style for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's one of my favorite parts about Reaper is kind of you can do all these great flanks and get away with them, but also they don't work if you don't have the proper timing. One of my favorite quotes from Sabiolbi is that timing's everything on DPS, and that definitely stays true with Reaper. That if you have the right timing and they're not scouting you, you can definitely just go in the back line and two-shot a squishy, get out, have a lot of effectiveness in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I think that kind of worked out beautifully for you guys tonight. I want to congratulate you again on the win, and thank you for giving us a little bit of your time here tonight.
I've got one thing, Shy. One more.
Go right ahead.
My one thing is, have you scouted any teams in this tournament yet, Inked? Or Jay, for Inked? Have you scouted for anybody?
Have we scouted them?
I'm leading into the hype for next week.
Oh, I don't know who you play next week.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, we're just kind of focusing on like on what do we call it? A lot of roster change stuff in open division. So I haven't gotten a chance to look at it, but do you want to give me a sneak peek, I guess?
I will tell you, as a caster, I am extremely excited for your guys' match against Scion for good reason. I think you guys played very well. I'm really excited that you guys are continuing to progress with the new roster. But I'm very excited as a caster to see next week's match, is what I'll say.
Cool. I hope we put on a show, and if they're a good team, we'll definitely take a look at them and respect their play, stuff like that. We always try to go into this respecting the other team as much as we can, and definitely just trying to focus on and play our game. And we never really want to like underestimate a team, especially in this meta where individual players can be strong just from having coordinated team and that good timing, so it should be fun.
Absolutely. I cannot wait. And before we let you go, get back and celebrate a little bit with your team, I do just want to give you an opportunity to do any shout outs right now, plug any streams, anything like that. This is the time for it.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to give a shout out to like our staff on Inked, with Ray, Strafe, who just played, and Ron especially coming in and hanging out and coaching us, especially NoLib also as our coach, assistant coach kind of role. All my teammates who are working super hard, stuff like that, and just practicing in and out every day. It shows the improvement we've had, and I'm so grateful for them. As for like plugging streams and stuff like that, yeah, I'll do that once. I stream on Jai_OW. I'm going to be streaming a lot more recently, from about 10 o'clock EST to about 1 or 2. So if y'all want to go see some high-level feed or DPS play, that's where I'll be.
All right. Well, we thank you again for coming to talk to us a little bit, and I'll give you one little piece of good news that you can take back to your team. You can let Crawley know that he has been voted the viewers MVP here tonight. So
yay!
Coming away with the props.
I think that's apt. I agree with that one wholeheartedly.
Awesome. He definitely deserves it. His Sigma play and the scouting he has on the enemy DPS to keep them at bay just helps us tremendously. So love him. Congrats to him. It's awesome.
All right. Well, we'll let you go for the night, and we'll see you guys next week as you take on Scion Esports. Should be a heck of a match.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you all so much. Definitely looking forward to it, and y'all have a good one.
GG's.
Yep. GG's.
Wow, that's gonna do it for us.
Couple of short but exciting games tonight, Shy.
I gotta say, I mean, it's gotten me very excited for what we're gonna get to do next week.
I feel like the hype, like the build up, man. Like we're hitting like the middle of the movie, we're about to hit the climax. It's coming. Like, oh man, it's coming.
We're about to get a heck of a fight scene. I gotta say that.
That's for sure.
Two powerhouses going head to head next week. Scion and Inked coming away with the wins here tonight, setting up a marquee matchup in the upper bracket quarterfinals. So it's been fun. It's been real. It's been a little bit of everything.
It's been real fun.
That's true. That's
It's been
true.
fun. It's been real. It's been real fun.
All right. Well,
It was a good time, Shy. Appreciate you casting with me tonight, man. And I'll give my shout outs that I always give to Star Esports crew and production and organization for putting it on. Thanks for letting me and Shy come and hang out and talk about Overwatch. We just get to do the fun part, and really appreciate all the work that goes into putting this organization together. So thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank the viewers at home as well for joining us tonight for our matches. Be sure to keep up to date with all things Star Esports. Follow us on Twitter. Join us on the Discord. Throw us some love here on the Twitch channel as well. We appreciate anything and everything you can contribute. But that is going to do it for us here tonight. For Refuse to behind the scenes making everything happen. For Twess, I am Shy Guy. Have a wonderful evening, everyone, and we will see you next time.